Hello and welcome to round 4 here of BBB. I think we're round 5 actually.
Round 5.
Round 5 into Miami. I'm looking forward to this one. How are you doing, Liam? With me, my usual co-commentator.
Hello, I'm good, thank you. I'm also looking forward to this one. We had an absolutely spectacular race last week in Italy. We've flown past the Atlantic, and now we are in Miami. Well, unfortunately, we're not actually in Miami. We can't live up to the party hype they did in real Formula One, but we're here in spirit.
In Miami. I moved just for this weekend, just thought I could head over to Miami. Yeah. I thought it was the best.
Flat looks remarkably just like.
Yeah, I just took the whole thing over, so it was fine, really. But yeah, we are back. It is back to a standard race weekend. Last time we had our sprint race, we had Thomas Hunter take the lead of the championship, which was pretty exciting. And as usual, we've got a little highlight video to show you what you missed from last week. Race is on. Who's going to get the best start here? It's going to be a tricky one to call. I think Logan does look like he's made a pretty good start there. He's actually got a fantastic start, already gotten ahead of Thomas before we've even got into turn 1, so that's fantastic to see. And Jordan Venus is managing to make his way up into P2. Awful start there from Thomas Hunter, as we see an AlphaTauri go off in the background. Hopefully no DNF, but Venus making a move on the opening lap, currently sitting in P2, chasing down the Ferrari.
Well, talking about Logan, he did spin it and crash last season. He was not a fan of this track in the 2021 cars, but we're currently seeing him leading this race.
I cannot believe. All right, I need a Venus jar, and I put a penny in it every time I speak about it. Because I cannot believe that Thomas, on the softs, with the run that he just got out into the final corner and DRS, couldn't get past him. That's obscene. He must have some severe wing advantage going on, because that just seemed like he had to get through there.
I just wanted to shout out as well, quarterback. I believe he started this race at the back. He's currently in 5th place after 5 laps.
Yeah, absolutely astonishing run from him. And he's someone who I raced against in some of the pre-season stuff, and I thought he seemed amazing. Seemed really quick, really quick. So it's good to see him.
Commentator's curse has begun.
I wasn't watching. Oh, I'm so sorry, quarterback. If people are doing one-stop hard, so maybe. Oh, is this the move though? Finally, with the DRS and the ERS, it does look like, oh, there's a little bit there. He's going to squeeze him right to the inside. Jordan knows exactly what he's doing. Is he going to be super late on the brakes here? I think he might be. He's going to hold around the outside. Surely not. He holds around the outside. He keeps the Thomas at bay once again. Fantastic racecraft from Jordan there. But now Jordan has the infamous warm-up lap of these tyres in the new game, where these tyres take forever to get any temperature into them, and it's really tricky to keep the people behind you. But if there's anyone who's good at that, it is Jordan, and so far managing to do enough. Is Jonny going to make a dive to the inside now? I think he is, and that is going to be pretty simple. A little bit of contact potentially, but hangs Jordan out to dry. Plenty of room there, and that is what both McLarens passed on Venus. So there's a few of these guys who are on very old hards who had an incident at the start, and they're going to have to pray for a safety car or something. And
of the devil.
Just as you say, I don't know what is going on with me today, but that is a safety car. This is going to be a really interesting one. That's great for Thomas. He's going to jump straight into the pits. A lot of people are here. Jinna is as well. Logan going to stay on the hard. Is the safety car in this lap?
It is in this lap.
Very close to the safety car here. I would imagine Logan is going to wait to go to the line before he releases. Yeah, crawling up to the line. He's going to leave it right there. I believe he has just gone. And has actually done a really good restart there. He's kept caught Jesse sleeping a little bit there. Jake Smalls looking like the winner of this one at the moment. He's got a good run on the Aston Martin. Going to need to hold it around the outside. I think he's got enough room there. He's going to swing it, try and get around the outside of Mark. What a move to get through up into P3 for Jake Smalls. That's another Alpine in P3. Oh, Mark's lost it. He's spun round. That looks like a massive crash. Could that be another safety car potentially? Because that was a huge crash. It is just a yellow flag in sector 1 at the moment. I don't think he's actually somehow didn't DNF from that. So he's going to be on his way. Yellow flag has removed. Thomas Hunter, importantly, getting past Quiverlex very quickly up into P6 as Mark is crawling his way at the back of the grid. Jason Kennedy on the back of this pack as well. So Logan has done what he needed to do. He's got away. He's got a second and a half gap over the Mercedes, and then Jake Smalls on the back of Jesse there. That is unfortunate. Hopefully that doesn't cause a safety car. Oh no, Jake! He's lost it. Big spin from the Alpine. And now suddenly we've got James up into P3. Oh, what a disaster for Alpine. He's moved back. Jordan looks like he's going to be really struggling to get through this pack on those softs. Thomas, however, has managed to make that work. He is moving his way up the grid. So looking good for him. As we see DRS enabled Thomas Hunter right on the back of Jason Kennedy. And I would assume on those softer tyres he is going to be able to make some sort of move into turn 1 here, but not DRS, no DRS available just yet.
Did I mention earlier about high aero? That Ferrari was pulling away from the McLaren down the straight, and that was it was in the toe.
Yeah, it's clearly not working out here. Imola is a track with some high-speed corners where you do want that downforce, but it does have some very, very long straights where that is clearly just not working out for Thomas at the moment. But what might work out, using that downforce to stick it round the outside, left enough room there from Jason, and he's going to get a better run up into this next set of corners, side by side, actually going up through here. Jason now going to have the inside line. Are they going to make it through? Very, very wide from Thomas there, just trying to make sure that there's no contact. Now going to be onto the inside of it. Actually, Morale is going to back out of that one, thinks better of it, and is going to have to go for again. Oh, a slow exit there. I think there was a crash. I think Jason had a bit of a wobble there, and it feels like the McLaren might hit the back of him. Can't see any wing damage from this angle, so maybe he got away with that one, but some close racing there through that section.
Great driving by the Ferrari. He was not letting that McLaren through. He thought there was a drag race up until the hill on the left-hander, and I don't know if... I think he was quite sparing with his room, really. He was quite nice, was our sniper, and the McLaren...
He's round. That's another car round. Big spin there for Arnie. He's going to send him to the back. Lots of spins happening, but also Thomas now making a solid move, actually managing to find that error, maybe did some tweaks, maybe knocked off some of the front wing on the back of the Ferrari and kind of forced himself into a lower downforce setup because he got through very, very quickly. There's another spin behind Josh Wilmot. If we jump to the front quickly on James, I think he might have a run now on Jesse. DRS is going to be open. Let's see who's got the lower downforce. It does look like James is going to be able to make this through quite easily, very early on actually. No problems there at all. So now he's going to be chasing down Logan. So nice clean move there. Jesse is going to be clinging onto this podium with every part of his being, but I do feel like Thomas Hunter now coming on the back with those soft, fresh mediums might be able to gun him down and ruin what has been a fantastic podium charge for Jesse. I don't know. I don't see it though. I don't think they're going to catch him. He's got too much pace this weekend.
Do you remember though the juicy battle happened? Oh no,
Jesse! Oh no, absolutely
no!
Oh, what a shame. Oh, such a good performance from Jesse, and just seeing the spin, and those hard tyres are going to be molten on the top now, and he is going to fall back through the order. And normal service has resumed in BBB Racing. We have Logan and James and Thomas, our top three. Beat us on those softs, but he is quite far back. I think it would be some sort of miracle for him to get up into the top three now. Yeah, definitely. I will eat my words when I was saying that maybe that strategy wasn't the best for Thomas to swap into the mediums. It looks like it's paying off in absolute dividends right now. Not only is he setting the fastest lap, but he's actually on the back, and that could be absolutely crucial. 3-second penalty going the way of Logan in the lead. Penalties usually quite a big feature of this track, but the two guys behind him have managed to keep it clean, and that is going to relieve so much pressure for both of these guys as they are both within that 3-second gap. Logan currently sitting P3 after this incredible race.
No one told that to Thomas Hunter. He was going straight over them. There was like a straight line.
Yeah, well, speaking of straight line, that is what Thomas has got in buckets over James right now. He is absolutely steaming past there, and you've got to feel like he's going to be on the back of Logan pretty soon, who has that 3-second penalty. So this suddenly in the last, this has all fallen away from Logan, and this is looking like a pretty solid win for Thomas Hunter. So jumping quickly, Thomas now is going to be making this move on Logan at the front of the grid, but noticing that also James Simmons has that DRS open. So I think for Logan this might almost be more of might be more comforting if he loses it on the track, as it is going to have to be a very late move. Oh, he's lost it! Logan's round! He's spun, he's in the dirt! This could be a disaster. He needs to keep it calm, keep it on the track, because luckily he's got Jordan quite a way back behind him. It does look like it is going to be the win for Thomas Hunter here. A solid win, a great recovery drive, a lovely strategy call to put him onto the mediums. He's going to take the win. James Simmons is going to come in P2, as we would kind of expect from James. Logan, I mean, driver of the day for me, absolutely smashed that. but is only going to be able to pull away with P4. Actually, looking at the back here, it's a three-way drag to the line. Venus is going to come ahead of Jesse. Jason squeezing through to get P4, so that's a 3 and 4 for Ferrari.
And we're back. That was Imola last weekend. Well, what did you think of that race?
I loved it. It was really, really tight. Strategy was huge last week, and quite a few incidents actually that we thought were spins, but on reflection were actual incidents. It was quali. Good for Thomas to take the championship lead, but we're not at Imola this week. We're at Miami, and so we've got our fastest lap, our Hotlap champion in the Discord, Jakob. I will say that I pronounce it Jacob. Apologies for that in the video. It is Jakob, and he's going to show us around Miami, where the boys are currently qualifying, and then we'll jump into the quali. This is our second Hotlap run. Jacob is going to be showing us just how to drive Miami properly. He's going to come around into this first corner, holding down in fourth gear, keeping the power down for this next section. We need to get really slowly run into turn. Another little bit of this section. This is Jeddah, where once you get this locked in, it feels so good. Jacob is going to be hooking that round now, just going down into fourth, keeping the gears nice and high as it comes around out of turn 8 onto this long stretch. The first DRS detection zone coming up, and then he's just holding that down, keeping all that speed going up and getting the car slowly moved over to the right hand side, ready for this next little section here. He drops down into third gear, short shifting up to fourth, keeping it tight, back down to third. Is he going to go out to second? No, he's actually going to hold that in third, and a little short shift up. We love this section, everyone's favourite section. They're actually getting a lot of curb through there and keeping the car nice and together. Now onto the back straight, where we hit that second DRS detection zone, and then another really effective DRS detection zone at the end of here. This is going to be where a lot of overtakes, I think, are going to be happening into turn 17, which is going to be a heavy braking zone, lightly down into third gear, and then just get the car turned in, and as soon as you can, floor it down onto the accelerator, get that straight line speed coming through as he goes through into seventh gear. So 126.4.
Well, here we are in qualifying. It was optimal conditions there for Jakob. Not quite optimal here with the grey skies. I'm not too sure the temperatures will be quite the same, but no surprise seeing him at the top of the Hotlap challenge. He's currently at the top of qualifying at the moment with a 127.354.
Yeah, he's absolutely smashing it. We're used to seeing Thomas and James up at the sharp end of the grid with not much between them. I will say Thomas actually 27.6 versus James is 28.2, so he's managed to find some pretty decent time there, but the 27.3 coming out from Jacob is going to be pretty hard to beat. Yeah, this could be quite spicy for the rest of the season, Liam, if we've got a new driver coming in who appears to have some serious pace.
Yeah, and it's about time somebody put the Red Bull amongst the charts, because they're currently sat on 0 points, nil points, and we would quite like to get those on the board. So hopefully we'll get him teamed up with someone soon, and we'll see Red Bull in the thick of it with the McLarens, with the Ferraris. But yeah, like you say, currently at the thick end with Thomas and James.
Yeah, not looking super hot for Ferrari right now either. Down in 8 and 9. Hopefully see them improve throughout the session. Just as we say that's Logan back up into the top step with a 28.0. So yeah, again, this is... I'm really curious, because I think if this was any other weekend, that gap that Tom has over Logan is pretty significant. That is one of the larger gaps that we've had in the quali so far. Obviously these will come down, but Jacob seeming to set some sort of different pace now. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I would have to say I would expect Jakob, to get on pole, but love to see if some of the guys can upset that.
Yeah, we've seen a new bar being set, really. We thought we'd seen the fastest with Thomas Hunter and James, but when you think they're the fastest, no, someone can come along and just disrupt that. But yeah, like you say, the speed is phenomenal. 0.3 is the biggest gap between pole and second I think we've had by quite a margin.
Yeah, and I'm wondering as well, though, as you said, the conditions here. You might know this a little bit better than me, because you're a bit of a better driver. But if it's a cold day, is that going to mean that the track improvement is going to be stronger throughout the session because it's not already at like a good place and the car's going to have more an effect, or are they not going to be able to make as much of an effect?
I can't speak on terms of the game fully. Like, I don't exactly know how it works. For one's temperature, that'll be your biggest factor. Your tyres will not be at the optimal range as they usually are when you're doing your qualifying laps, your qualifying times. In terms of track wear, I believe it is somewhat in the session. You will have a green track at the start of a session and it will grip towards the end, which is why we always seem to find faster times go in at the end. But to be honest with you, I really
Yeah, I think we'll just have to see this one, see how it goes. But yeah, as you say, super quick time there from Jakob at the moment. Alex, stop! He's back. He's there. He's in P5. That's not super competitive, but we'll have to see if he can get up there. What would you feel like if it's Alex chasing down a Red Bull? How's that going to make you feel?
It's going to give me flashbacks of last season when we saw that so many times where either that way round or vice versa, where we'd see Red Bull chasing down an Aston Martin. But you know what? I think maybe I'm not saying I recruited Jakob, but it would, he's a spiritual successor to myself in that seat. So it is good to see another Red Bull up at the top.
Just a quick one in the chat. We've got Roberto saying, who makes the decision when there's an incident in the league? We have a stewarding team who are currently swapping around slightly or having some time off and stuff. But we have an instant report system where everyone can send in their stuff and then everything is reviewed. Penalties are handed out or taken away if the game's given over their penalties. It's just one of the cool things that all of the people who work hard on this league do to make it fun. But hopefully, Miami, I think there's probably going to be quite a few incidents. I don't know this track very well at all.
It is. It's got those teething issues kind of thing, isn't it? Like, we know there's a lot of tracks that are very established amongst the calendar, amongst the other races. They know where the overtaking spots are. We know we've seen it in real life where those spots are, but it's always a little bit different in the game, isn't it? It's always there's always a few more liberties you can take, and what we don't want to see incidents basically. Obviously, we want the cleanest driving. We do this rigorous race control, so we try and iron out the things so we have the cleanest racing. Because at the end of the day, that is why we have a league, right, to get as much close racing as possible.
Yeah, I love your confidence there, not shared by the Ferrari team boss Leon in the chat saying it's going to be Crash City. But we'll see. Anyway, it's not too long to go before we will find out, as I think everyone is pretty much starting their outlaps now. All eyes at the front of the grid, 3/10 to make up for Thomas to Jakob. That's going to be some challenge, and then Logan another half second really back on him. So do you think anyone's going to pull anything special out here?
I don't know, but the current running order at the minute on track is we've got a lot of outlaps at the moment, but the only person who is, I think, either on a lap or on his outlap is Thomas Hunter. It's quite high. He's plus 2.6 at the moment, so I don't think this is his lap. Yep, he's already weaving his back off. But the next one, he's the front of the... He was the front of the queue. Now we've got Jakob and Thomas in front of that queue. I don't even know what I'm saying.
No,
I do know what I'm saying. They were at the front of the queue. I think he actually made a mistake in that lap, which meant he backed off. But now, car number 69 is about to take his flying lap.
Yeah, this is going to have to be something really special from Thomas if he's going to get this. I'm just looking on board with him at the moment. It almost looks like it's getting wet on the track, but so I think it's just that's the conditions are so grim at the moment. Looking pretty clean so far. I'd love to see this sector time when we come through. He needs to make up about 3/10. So if you're coming through this nice S section, that's looking pretty hooked up here. He's going to hold it nice and wide. Looks like just on the track limits there. Hopefully got away with that one. Oh, he's a big incident. Actually going to crash. Absolutely gutted there for Thomas. Looked like a pretty clean lap. Only one left who can really do anything about this is going to be James or Logan. They're on laps at the moment.
300ths faster than his previous time in the second sector.
300ths is not going to be enough to take pole. It might be enough to upset Logan. But right now, it looks like Jakob is going to be coming in and taking his first pole. Another 3.8 currently. So that is going to put him up into P3, I believe.
Do you know if that delta time is on their previous time or the session there?
That will be on their previous time. But Jesus, that is a 1:26.8 coming in from Jakob. That is a second clear, or 8/10 clear on
Matt
Quinton.
Put it in P4.
Yeah, big lap there from Matt. Over a second difference between first and third. Thomas is going to be lucky there to keep second place, but that's a serious statement.
That is a benchmark.
Yeah, his first quali coming in and splitting the field, clearing the field by 0.8. That's how you want to do it. Wow. I think they're going to need to find some serious pace during the race to chase down Jakob. Because right now that looks pretty formidable.
I think we heard maybe the pace has been taken for granted for our top three. We heard it a lot before the session started that we don't need to practice, we just turn up on a Sunday. But that's going to take some practice to recover those 8/10 there.
Well, the biggest question is going to be, is he going to survive turn one? You can have all the pace in the world, but if you can't get past turn one, it's not going to mean anything. We've been pretty good turn one, have we? Or has there been a safety car at the start of every race?
I think we've had a VSC as our best, maybe.
Yeah. So sometimes we don't have a full safety car at the start of the race, which is great. But there you go. So that is going to be Jakob taking his first pole. Closely behind him is going to be Thomas Hunter and then James, the usual suspects. Where did Logan end up? Logan ended up P5, split by the McLarens of Matt Quinton. So strong performance here for McLaren, who are definitely up there in the constructors' fight. And then good to see Alex P6, strong performance.
Jesse again with a strong result in 7th.
Yeah, and not the my favourites, the Alpines. Not so much of a strong showing this week, but that's fine. We need a break. Someone else needs to get the attention and the limelight.
Who do you think will be getting that attention in this race?
Well, I feel like we probably won't be watching Jakob very much because he's just going to be off into the distance, potentially. I want to... Jinnit, again, we talk about this quite a lot. Jinnit doesn't usually have a good quali, or the start of the race doesn't usually go too well for him if he does get a good quali. So I'd really like to see him, starting from the front, to just have a clean, solid race, get some luck on the start, and see if he can do well. How about yourself? Anyone you want to keep an eye on for this one?
Well, he's currently sat in P10 in the championship, so yeah, I would quite like to see him put a stake in this championship. I would love to see, yet again, our top three, Harry Potter meme.
Yeah.
The usual suspects of Hegel Fireplays, aka Thomas Hunter, Logan Watt and James Simmons have a battle, because they have got a titanic battle for the championship at the moment.
They do, yeah. And it did get quite spicy at the end of last week in Imola. There was actually a crash, which we didn't quite catch. But they've put that behind them now. And here we are in Miami as the 5 red lights go on. Oh, the lights are off. The race is on. It was pretty slow getaway for the lights there. Hopefully people are going to be ready as we're coming up into this first turn one. It's a very, very short run here. We're going to have to see... Oh, a big lunge there from Joe. I think that was Logan from miles back. Huge, huge lunge. This is a bit of a disaster here. There's crashes all over the place. Oh, I see a spin of the Alpine in the background. Logan has made his way up to the front. I'm sure we'll be looking at that one from the stewards. I think there was some collision there, but Jakob managing to survive the first corner just about, followed by Yunks, then Thomas. I'm sure there was some front wing damage. We do have a VSC, I believe, all 3 sectors yellow. Wow. Where did Logan come from?
It's such a short distance from the line to the first corner, but a Ferrari came out of nowhere. It seemed like they got a great initial launch, but a second phase of the start, they were right in between the McLaren and the AlphaTauri, and then under braking alone, he went up the inside of Jakob. I think there was contact there. I'm not too sure how clean it'll be. It'll be reviewed after the race.
There is absolute chaos going on at the moment. If we look to 6th and 7th place, there is so many cars coming down. I think Alex doesn't have a front wing there. And behind him, I can see front wings flying all over the place. It's quite hard to follow what's quite going on here. Jordan is running away from this absolute train of cars behind him, trying to make sure he gets through nice and cleanly. I would not be surprised if we see a lot of pits on this opening lap, because there must be some severe wing damage.
Currently quarterback with the missing front wing. Alex, I believe, has no damage on his.
Yeah, I think that's Alex. I think Josh. No, Josh is fine. Yeah, so maybe just Alex for the moment. As we see, Jakob has actually taken the lead back from Logan. So that didn't take very long to do that. But quarterback is going to be limping back to the pits now, trying not to hold too many people up as he does so. Difficult decision to make now.
Releases Alex into the path to chase down the hard to overtake Alpine.
Yeah, I mean, that is unfortunate. It's not quite how we want these to go, but that does happen sometimes. Usually the boys have been pretty clean on lap 1, but this time was a little bit tricky. Good to see, just checking the interval times here. Good to see Logan keeping in touch with Jakob, even though he got lost the lead on that lap. Can't wait to watch that lunge back. And then from that, we do have James just in DRS range as well of Logan. And then Thomas a little bit further back, so he's got some work to do. I believe Thomas has front wing damage. I'm not sure. I think it might just be minor. If we have any of the engineers in the chat, I'd love to find that out. Because he's currently being caught by Josh Wilmot pretty easily, and he's a long way off James.
Where do you think he would have got that damage? Would that have been his own doing on the racetrack, or was there contact that we didn't see?
There was I mean, turn 1 after Logan jived in, there was so many cars in such a tight area. I think it would be so easy to just clip a wing there. Either trying to back out of something, move to the side of something, or maybe trying to take an opportunistic move. I might be wrong. I'd love to find out if that is the case, but usually we'd expect Thomas to be catching up on these guys a little bit. I will say, amazing stuff from Logan again to be staying with what appears to be a very, very rapid new driver after making that dominant move into turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, what a way to welcome Jakob. How meet Logan. Logan meet Jakob. What a better way of exchanging handshakes on the racetrack than that. I don't know. I don't think there's a better move to describe Logan than that move that we saw in turn 1.
I don't think. Also, if we just want to jump down into P8, Jesse and Harrison and Jason Kennedy are having an absolutely fierce battle here. I think Jesse just got past Harrison, I believe. Just keep an eye on that gap at the top in case anything happens. But I think these guys here, I don't think these guys pit. I think this is just middle of the pack, just seeing what they can do. But some great battling going on. And it can be done cleanly. We promise, guys. We can get clean races in BBB.
Yeah, I think we saw the Alfa Romeo run over the curb there. With the cars bottoming out in this year's game, you can quite often find that you're spinning. And it might have been what we saw from Fire Plays, that you bottom that car out and you don't have 4 wheels on the racetrack.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be tough. I'm just noticing here, just checking the tyres. I think hards on the Mercedes in front of Harrison, and then Jason on the soft. So Harrison is going to be wanting to dispatch this guy nice and quickly up at the front. Seeing James managing to keep in that DRS of Logan. Logan now dropping 2 seconds back from Jakob, so it does look like that pace is now starting to show itself.
Yeah, just cutting in there, we got, just as we cut to the action, we saw James all over the back of Logan. And I think it was another go on the brakes by Logan to keep that position, to keep that AlphaTauri behind him.
Exactly. Jordan, I'm just noticing now Jordan's making a pass on Alex Stop for P6, which is good stuff. A really tight battle here. He's actually going to try and keep it around the outside. Oh, it gets a little bit held up there again. Hopefully no damage to the front wing. You're going to have to follow him through this dirty section now. Probably not going to get the overtake done just here. Lots of understeer coming out on the Alpine. Hopefully nothing too severe. So I think we do see yellow on the track.
Sector 3.
Yeah, I believe that's Arnie Noben who had a spin there. So
I just want to talk a little bit about the biggest winners and the biggest losers from the start. So we've got Josh Wilmot, started P10. He's already up into P5. And another big winner is Harrison. But the biggest losers, we've got the McLaren at the back again, quarterback at the back again. Jake Smalls got caught with that, and our new driver Adam. So I don't know what happened. We'd have to see a replay to see what happened. If anyone has any insight, please put it in the chat. We'll try and speculate on how that happened. Piece the story together. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely a spicy start to the race. Really excited to see how the strategy pays out for that. Just noticing in the background here of this shot, we are seeing Harrison finally making that move on Jesse, getting that hard-tired Mercedes out of the way. Gets it done nice and early, just needs to make sure he slows down the car in time, and he does so. Oh, with a bit of a moment there, but he does get through nice and cleanly, so now he's going to want to be chasing the back of Jason Kennedy in that.
Talking of tyres as well, I think the reason, I've got a bit of a hunch that the reason Logan had such a great start is because he started on the soft compound tyres, whereas the cars in front of him were, Hegel Plays was on the hards, and both those cars were on mediums. But why do you think you choose the hard tyre to start this race?
Why you start the hard tyre? I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't really know. You're going to get swallowed up into the pack. I mean, obviously you're going to be on the faster tyre at the last part of the race. When the fuel's lighter, the track's more green, more rubbered in. Sorry, so you will have that pace advantage there. But yeah, I definitely would want to be on at least the mediums.
Well, I was wondering. I was having a little think. Do you reckon we've seen so many hard tyre starts because there might be rain forecasts for the end of the race?
Potentially, could be the way. I hope so. That would be nice. I don't think we've had much wet weather running here. But yeah, it'd be an interesting one to look out for that as we make our way through. I'm just checking. Did Jordan get through Jesse and Harrison, or is he being caught by Jason?
I think it was from the start mishaps he got through that battle, and they're probably catching back up to him.
Yeah.
Because Alex was the first, and I think we must have missed the action where Sniper got past him as well. But Alex was the first of those drivers to get past.
Yeah, these mid packs are having some serious battles, but it does look like most people now have broken the DRS apart from Jordan on Jason, who is holding nice and tight on the harder tyre as well. So interesting to see if this is just Jason just getting his way through now. But a very spread grid, actually. I will say, we don't usually have this much distance between the drivers.
No, we seem to have a Formula 1 and a Formula 1.5. We've got a top 5 that are very close on the same straight, and then you go 16 seconds back to 6th place, which is Alex. And I wonder if that was caused by that chaos that happened at the start.
I don't know if you quite caught it. I don't know if we quite caught it on stream. But under the VSC, there was a moment where it looked like maybe someone had overtaken illegally or was having to hold up because there was like a 4-car wide, just slow-moving train in the center of the track. So I think something went awry there as we see another VSC coming out.
Sorry to cut you off there. I was just looking at the chat. Do you remember when we saw the Formula 2 League and we saw Jeddah start with Venus, where it was Skittle was going down into turn 1? And having Callum telling us that maybe we might have seen the same thing with the other Alpine driver.
It does. That would be a real shame. I'm not sure. Yeah, it did seem. Well, I mean, Logan surely wasn't affected by that. He came from absolutely. That looked like a Logan special. I mean, it was. I think he just slammed it to the side of him annoyingly, but it was nearly a fantastic move. I'm trying to see what this VSC's for.
We've seen a lot of cars pitting as well under it.
I think
it's gone from bad to worse for quarterback with the VSC ending. He's currently got a drive-through penalty with it. Yeah,
not exactly what you want to see. That VSC, what that has done is really mix up these strategies, which I'm trying to have a look at where people are going to be now. Logan does appear to be in a fairly decent position with the fresh hards, I guess, unless I wouldn't really want to take those all the way to the end of the race, I assume.
This is the biggest field spread I think we've had in the race.
100%, yeah.
The closest battle we do have on track at the minute, I believe, is between Alex and Logan.
Yeah, and that's, 2 seconds is a pretty considerable gap, to be honest. So yeah, we have a lot of pit stops now. A lot of penalties being served, I'm noticing, in these pit stops as well. Just looking back at Adam, who just had a penalty there. So that's a shame. But yeah, I guess now until the next set of pit stops happen, it's kind of just get your head down, get that pace going. Love to see if James could catch Jakob. Let's keep an eye on that gap. 3.5.
Currently keeping him honest, not running. It's not 8 tenths a lap basically that we saw from qualifying.
Yeah, but I wonder if maybe he's just keeping it cool. Maybe saving his tyres a little bit. Maybe have a little look on board with him. See if we can see where some of that pace is coming from. If we've got no on board, no battles going on at the moment, it does seem to be. I'm curious to see how hard he's pushing each time he comes out of these corners. But Yeah, he's right now. He does seem to be building that gap a little bit. He takes so much curb there. I don't understand how you can do that.
So smooth as well with the driving. It's like one input every corner.
Yeah, it is. Well, this is what happens. We spoke about it briefly before the stream started, saying we're working hard to bring the quality of this stream, to bring the quality of this league up, and that is going to attract some quality drivers. And it does appear that Jakob is making the statement that we maybe thought he would coming into this race, currently with a 4-second lead over the rest of the grid. I'm noticing there is a battle on track between the Haas of Robert Arnold and the Ferrari of Jason Kennedy.
And also another battle.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, another battle between Logan and Alex.
I think he's going to make that move stick. Hopefully, is he going to be late on the brakes? He is a little bit of a squeeze, but I think that's all fine as he does make his way through. So that's going to be an important move for Logan. Needs to move up and make whatever this strategy is work out. Leon, love to hear what strategy Logan is thinking about.
So, what a change of fortunes for the boys in blue. We had one in second place this time last week, and that one is currently in P11, and the other one in P14.
Yeah, not really. Maybe just not their track. That's how it goes sometimes. This is quite a well. I mean, I know that Jordan was running last time on just some ridiculous no downforce wing setup that seemed to be working out nicely. He is actually making another move on the Haas in P10, and he's made that work. So the medium tyre is working well for him. So yeah, good to see that the overtakes are coming through. That was a pretty honest overtake. Oh, Robert actually on older tyres there. So the strategy seems to be all over the place.
Definitely.
Right
Talking
now
about cars overtaking Haas's, we've got a Ferrari lining up the other Haas of Jacob Martin.
Yeah,
is he going to get him into this corner? I don't think he's going to be close enough.
No, he'll be waiting for that for the next straight, I'm sure, to use the DRS because it is such a long straight. Better off just holding tight here. The Ferrari team principal letting us know that the strategy is pending with Logan. So
who's making that decision of pending? Is that Logan or is that you, Leon?
I feel like I know the answer to that one, but we'll leave that. He did make some good strategies before. We are going to see this strategy pay off for Jason Kennedy. Surely going to make that nice and easy down the straight. Yeah, nice. Gets right back in front. Easy on the brakes and he's going to move his way up on the fresher tyres. Oh, actually, making a little move of it is Jacob. Has a cheeky look, but yeah, that would have been very, very cheeky, I think, to try and slip through there.
I wonder if Team Ferrari are doing full roleplay with the yeah, Italian accents and the question at the end of every radio comment.
Yeah, exactly. Cool question, Logan. Why did
you pit? The strategy pending? Question.
Yeah, these Haas's starting to go backwards on these hard tyres. That's Robert Arnold who's going to be overtaken as well by Jinnit, who's on the better compound. At the front, that gap that we said 3.5 seconds, that's now up to 5.1. That is some lead from Jakob.
That is a great lead, but importantly as well, with Logan pitting under the VSC, he is under a pit stop gap from Jakob. So if those mediums were to be pit and taken off, Logan would come out as net race leader.
He would, but I don't know how his strategy is gonna work out towards the end of the race. He must be betting on another safety car towards the end of the race. I know he's not really thinking about it at all. If what we're anticipating is true, then we got a good and done. Main issue is how to do the new track. It's very hard to pull data and get 100% solid strategy. We understand. Oh, and there is your safety car. So I think that was Adam who's had a crash. He's going to be out. That's our second DNF of the race. So safety car coming out now. Liam, what does this do to our race?
So the first question is, do you come in or not? I think the people who would be looking to come in are the medium runners. I think this would be round about where you'd pit anyway. The hards are also extremely durable. But is this going to ruin your strategy? If you've started on the hards, it's way too early to come in now. But also at the same time, it levels up the pack. And you want to be on the freshest rubber when it comes to that race restart.
Yeah, I do worry for Logan. I think this might have ruined his advantage now, because surely Jacob is just going to come in, cover off any attempt, and come out still ahead. leaving Logan on the worst tyre compound and without track position.
Well, currently Jakob is driving to a delta that he will that he won't be able to go any faster than. I think, like you say though, he will. There is a huge gap between. Yeah, I'm looking at the track map now, and the distance between the Ferrari and the Red Bull is humongous. He's definitely going to come out ahead.
Yeah.
But what could foil it is if James or Tom Hunter choose to stay out.
Well, James is coming in now. I wonder if Thomas, I would have thought, might stay out. He's coming in as well. So Logan will surely stay out, but I think he's lost all of his advantage there. That safety car really hampering his race, unfortunately.
But what will be interesting is who will come out first between Thomas Hunter and Logan.
Yeah, I think so. Thomas is out now. Logan just coming around the main straight. This is going to be very tight, actually. They are basically neck and neck right now as they come out. Thomas is released, and he's released just in front of Logan. So pretty much worst case scenario there for Logan. Thomas onto the medium size. I think that was medium for Thomas.
It wasn't. He started on the hards.
Oh, he started on the hards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So he doesn't have to run another pit stop for the rest of this race, which could be a masterstroke.
Yeah, that could be really interesting, actually, because I think Logan pitting on those hards, 5 laps. I think 5 laps on the hards, he'll probably be fine with the safety car now. I think he's not going to have too much pace loss. Jakob and James on those hards, they'll be fine to the end. I think Tom might lose some pace right at the very end, but you would have thought that he'd be able to have the advantage to get through now and maybe get track position after the restart.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one. You've got better tyres, but you've got to get past 2 cars on a track that seems to be proving that with 3 DRS zones it's quite easy to overtake. It's not proving too much of a challenge, but that pace difference has got to be there to do it. We've seen a lot of cars on different tyres to do it. I think the one person who will be quite annoyed with the situation is James Simmons. We've currently seen him drive 4 races with incredible pace, but he's not been able to execute a race win yet.
No.
I think looking back, he's going to be the one that's going to be wanting to be on those yellow marked tyres. He's the one that's going to be hunting down Jakob. Yeah,
I agree, and I think that hard start for Thomas, maybe a masterstroke here, definitely puts him in the advantage. I'm trying to see anyone else further down. Who didn't pit? Who decided not to pit? Oh, do we have a spin? Logan's in.
Logan in the pits.
I don't know about that one.
Odd choice. He's currently on the hards. He's putting him on the mediums.
So he's going to be on the mediums.
Is he listening to us?
Driver call. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Leon. That is interesting. He's got a lot of fast drivers in front of him on pretty much the same tyre compounds. So I'm not expecting him to just stream through this pack.
Not just a lot of drivers, but a lot of competitive drivers. You look at the ones, I think, we look back to a situation like this, which was Jeddah, and there was a lot of cars in between them, but they're kind of the ones that are in the tail end of the field. Whereas he's got to go through Moon, we've seen incredible pace. His own teammate, I can't imagine he will make it too difficult to him. But then world champion of Alex Stott in front of him. So there's a lot of really competent drivers to make this way through.
Yeah, I think this might be. I mean, I'm reading in a little bit about it. I feel like this might be a case of I'm not going to win from this position, so I need to do something to give me an advantage. If that's the case, I think that might be the wrong call, because I think he's going for the championship, not the race win. And where he was, I think he was going to be in a fairly competitive position. Only 5 lap older hards than these guys. Whereas now he's given himself a lot to do. And as you say, like Thomas has pit this round as well, so he's going to be on mediums that are just as fresh as Logan's. He hasn't really got that advantage. What he's done is put 4 cars in between him and in between him and a podium, really.
His main rival in the championship as well, 10 points ahead. Is this a strategy that's going to make those 10 points up and more to get ahead of the championship? I don't think so.
No. Well, hopefully he gets on the podium. We can have a chat with him after the race. But if we speak to Logan about this after the race, it's going to be very much well done. But we had this before. We said this before in Imola when he was it Imola?
No, it was Jeddah, I believe.
Jeddah, yeah, where he made a rogue strategy call, gave us some great entertainment, and I do think paid off. The more I think back to that call there, I think I said that if he didn't win, it wasn't the right call, but that was totally incorrect because he had some fast drivers behind him. So he loves a cool Desire Logan and Ferrari. We'll see how this one plays out.
Opening this one up to the chat though, with all the talk of strategies and the calls, what would you make if you were in these drivers' positions?
Yeah.
What would you like? What position would you like to be in right now? What car would you like to be in?
Particularly Leon, particularly the team principal of the car that just made potentially a very questionable pit stop. I'd like to know what you would have done if you were in Logan's position, and if it was the same. Hopefully no turn 1 incidents here after the safety car, after that quite messy start to the race. I believe safety car's in this lap, hopefully.
It feels like it's been out for a long time. The best thing we don't have as well compared to real Formula 1 is we don't have to wait for lapped cars to overtake themselves. Any lapped cars that are there will remain there until the safety car period ends. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I think I'm just looking at this. I don't foresee anyone pitting from now, right? We got 14 laps, 15 laps to go. 15 laps on the mediums. It's probably about the limit, right? That's probably where you want to stop.
I think those hards are pretty indestructible. There's no question about it that they're making it to the end. We've not seen Venus put on softs yet, so I definitely don't think they're making it to the end. So I think mediums is probably your optimal strategy.
Sorry, just noticing absolute nonsense happening at the back of the grid, but we'll jump to the front. We'll ride on board with our top 3. I think I think Thomas is the one we're going to be watching here. I think this is going to be where he needs to do, as the grid is now slowed down by Jacob. When is he going to go? When's he going to make that call? Comes around this corner. He's holding it for the moment. Quite hard to see when he thinks he's going to come round. I think is he taking us right to the line? I think he's gone now. So we'll have to see if Thomas can make these mediums work, or if it's going to be Jakob just running off into the distance. Nice and clean on turn 1. Looks like he got a pretty good run through there. And Thomas just sticking to the back of James at the moment. Does appear, as he has a little bit of a moment there, does appear that these tyres are working. He's got Josh Wilmot though on 8-lap-old hards right on the back of him, actually putting a lot more pressure on him than he's managing to put on James out front. Speaking of out front, Jakob already nearly getting that second lead that he needs to break that DRS. So I feel like maybe the win is going to be a little bit out of touch for Thomas, but he does need to get past James as soon as he can. Go for it.
That warm-up phase is absolutely crucial as well. It's not just about the tyres in terms of pace, it's the tyres in terms of how quickly can they get to their optimum temperature. We've seen mediums...
Big move. Sorry there. Is he going to be hung out onto the outside? I think this could be really detrimental for Thomas now. Might lose a place to Josh Wilmot if he gets held out too much, but does survive that. Luckily, sorry about that. I just thought that was going to end in tears as we make our run down the main straight, the back straight.
Yeah, fortunately we had all cars facing the right direction there, but I think I almost took a gasp as well when we saw them going side by side into there. But yeah, as I was saying, it's the optimum range. Those, not only are they the better tyres, you want to make sure you can get to your fastest, to the fastest temperature as quickly as possible, so that you can make the most of those new tyres. And it looks like Thomas is trying to do so.
Yeah, it does look really cool. I think Thomas should get James eventually here as we're coming out this tiny little straight here, which has DRS that won't be active for the moment. He's not going to make some sort of move currently, but all the while Jakob just extending his lead in this race. Noticing quickly just Logan up into P6 already, so he's got past a few cars, needs to get past a few more if he wants to get onto this battle, which James could be doing Logan a great service here, holding Thomas up on these hards. Because all the while this is happening, it's going to make it just a little bit easier for Logan to get up and get involved.
Very, very conservative there with track space. We've seen a lot of drivers go right over that curb, maximising the racetrack. But Thomas, feeling like he doesn't need to. I don't know if that's due to pace, confidence, but he was very, very tight on that corner.
I think this Mercedes of Josh Wilmot has some real low drag. I think he's doing a bit of a Venus because he's absolutely flying on these straights. As Alex now getting involved, he's going to try and sneak that up the inside. This is an amazing move from Alex if he can hold it. Keep it wide for the outside now. See if he can hold it around again. Oh, it's going to be very tight, but Alex actually having to drop the curve there. Gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting that corner. That is unfortunate for him. I think he's just going to go ahead, and actually that has caused Josh to have a bit of an incident, and Logan now up into P5 already. So it does look like that pit stop might have been the right play for Logan once again, calling us wrong in the calling us out in the commentary box. But it's going to be a difficult one for the stewards there, Alex, because he definitely got an advantage by cutting the corner, but he did get a penalty for it. So we'll have to see how that one plays out as DRS has enabled this lap.
Yeah, we saw some incredible side-by-side driving. I honestly thought when Alex was off the track, he was going to give up and just slide back into position. But I think that Mercedes was almost inviting him around the long right-hander. Come on, take some more. And we actually saw him go around the outside and not be able to keep it on the track. Yeah, I do believe he did gain an advantage there for putting the race circuit.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how that one unfolds after the race, as Alex is now chasing onto the back of Thomas Hunter. Which is lovely to see. This is kind of where I thought Alex would be every weekend. Well, to be fair, he hasn't really been here every weekend, but when he is here, this is kind of where I thought he'd be. In between Logan and Thomas, fighting for some wins. But those medium tyres, I feel like they need to do a little bit more right now. James half a second ahead, and he's got to be feeling a little bit comfortable.
Yeah, you kind of, as I was saying earlier about that advantage and how far it's going to go, I think Thomas is running a high downforce setup again. We saw that Mercedes fly down the straight to catch up with him. I wonder if he's suffering the same thing he suffered with an Imola, where he just couldn't get past the Alpine.
Well, we can have a look here because I think he has DRS. He's in the slipstream. He is making some serious ground onto James. I think this one should be a little bit easier. Oh, he's going to get the move done way before we reach the corner. Now just needs to keep it slowed down nice and smoothly, and he does so. And that is going to be the move done for Thomas. And now he needs to get away as fast as he can and make as much of a gap as possible for James before those hard tyres come around as his mediums fall off.
Taking fastest lap on that lap too. So with a helping hand there from DRS, opening that back wing, showing his real potential. I wonder, do you reckon we can see another win from Thomas Hunter?
Not here. I think Jakob is too dominant. I do not see Thomas bringing down that gap unless Jakob has some sort of incident. Obviously, you never know. We could have another safety car. There's a lot of things that could happen. But right now, it does appear like Jakob is just a little bit too dominant.
Or we've seen Logan go from P9, P8 or P9. He's currently in P5.
Yeah, so he's had a good run. He's now onto the back of Alex, which is good. But unfortunately for Logan, Alex hasn't managed to keep that gap under a second to James. So he's going to lose that slipstream advantage as soon as he gets past Alex. And he's going to have to do it on track. James is on the harder compound. But as we've mentioned a few times now, the medium will get to a point where it's not going to have that advantage. And I do feel like that's going to be coming up fairly soon. Plus, James is an absolutely fantastic driver, and I do think has the pace advantage this weekend over Logan. So maybe P4 the best that he can hope for right now, but we'll have to see. Behind that, see we've got the two Mercedes. Lots of penalties this race, by the way. A lot of penalties coming through. And then further down the grid we have Jason and the two Alpines in 11th as well, just sitting outside the points, unfortunately.
Will, I actually don't know how we've got through the whole of this race, or qualifying, not talking about that tight technical section in Sector 3. Like, we saw so many cars come so literally centimetres from the wall. I gasp for breath every time I see it.
Yeah, we saw overtakes there, right? Technically. I mean, with Alex, if that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, it's just such a ridiculous section, to be honest, and the guys have done well to keep it mostly clean through there. Very curious to see how that penalty plays out with Alex, but back at the front, it just seemed like James is starting to get a rhythm going, catching back onto Thomas, which is again what Logan needs to happen is for these guys to be fighting, so he can catch back up. But I guess we'll test your theory again of the downforce setup now to see how easy is it for James to get onto the back of Thomas versus Thomas onto the back of James. He's a lot further back, I will say. But that gap is coming down pretty rapidly. Yeah, I mean, he got a couple of tenths there. I do think Thomas potentially is actually running the low downforce setup of the two cars.
I think as well, test it against someone who is another hot lapper themselves, which tends to favour the higher downforce setups. I think it was only last weekend where we saw one of the midfield pack with a much lower downforce, so we could see great racing there. But yeah, maybe these two are running 50-50 aero for this race.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, well, yeah, we have to see. I do say the Mercedes, I think, is the one who are running some sort of lower setup. Logan on the back of Alex.
How many times have we said that?
Yeah, I was going to say.
In this league.
It's an El Clasico matchup. Both on medium tyres, both around the same age. So this is a straight fight. Be interested to see if Logan can get through here. I think this could be going right to the end of the race, though. We've only got 9 laps to go. So we'll have to see how that plays out. I'm noticing James much closer to the back of Thomas as we come round the tight section onto the main straight. So potentially an overtake happening there. As we see coming through this technical section, as you say, who just needs to get a solid X out of here. Doesn't look very good to me. That looks like Thomas gets a much stronger exit out of there. Look how much distance he's made already. Gaining like half a tenth there.
Observing the onboard as well, he's pulling out of that corner in 4th gear, and I'm just thinking back to when I drove this track, I'm pretty sure I was pulling out 3rd there. I don't know if that's like those low revs, he's not got the power that he needs to come out of that corner, if he's tired, conserving, if that's the best thing for traction. I don't know what the pull is there, but he just seems to be losing so much track when it comes to the end of that straight.
Yeah, had a really poor exit. I tend to go as high as I can in those gears. I think I'm not the racer that you are for sure, but the fourth doesn't sound ridiculous to me there to get some traction out. But clearly, it'll be interesting to see if we see what Thomas is using when he comes out of the corner. See if there's any difference there that might be helping. But it does seem like the middle sector of the track, James has the edge. It just seems to be literally the run out of that corner with the big overtaking spot.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's tyres playing a part there as well, but we saw the McLaren not having the sharp pointy front end that the AlphaTauri had through those first corners. We had a great trajectory through there.
Big lunge, very late on the brakes there. Not going to have any room on the inside to do it, but you can see he's starting to get desperate. A little bit of a moment there as well. Nowhere near as close as he was before. So we'll have to see. Just checking on board with Thomas is doing that in 3rd. You're right. So Thomas is coming out of that corner in 3rd and pinning it there. So potentially well spotted, Liam, to notice why he's not getting as much power out of that corner.
It might be easy though. This isn't, this is drivers. This is what they prefer. It's proving it on the track, but if he finds that he's spinning there a lot, that pulling out 4th might be much easier for him. He's fast, so it's clearly working one way or another. But it might be the reason why he's not winning in the drag race.
Yeah, absolutely. That gap now over a second. I'm sure it'll drop down before we get to the end. But what is very close as well is Logan here on the back of Alex. These guys just constantly going at it at the moment, just trying to get a little bit closer. I think this is a little bit of the reverse. I think Logan here on the straight is gaining, but this middle section not doing so well. Or they're saying, I guess, a fantastic run through that corner, making up quite a lot of time. Bit too deep potentially there. So give and take here between these two drivers. Very close racing. Jinnit setting the fastest lap there.
No point for that one though. He's currently in P14.
Yeah, apparently confirmed from the Ferrari team principal that Logan is indeed struggling on the straights as he goes a little bit deep there, managing to avoid the back of the Aston Martin, something that he has failed at doing a fair few times, but luckily manages to succeed this time. Apparently different setups between the two cars means that he's just not getting the advantage on the straight, so we'll see that here as he gets a pretty shocking exit out of there and watches that Aston Martin disappear up the road.
I don't think we've witnessed a track on the calendar that's kind of offered up so many rock, paper, scissors sector times. Because out of 100% have gone through the first and second sector, Logan's got Alex on this lap. And then through the 3rd sector, Alex just pulls that gap right back.
This kind of happened in the race, right? this like in the real F1 race, right? We had I can't remember. Red Bull went low downforce and Ferrari went much higher downforce, and it was so you'd gain all the time and then lose it, and then gain all the time and then lose it, and it just does seem to be a difference of strategy calls here, creating some tight racing. I guess what is to good to point out now is that the pressure that these guys are running under now, Alex in particular holding that P4 with Logan directly behind you is not really what you want. So he's doing a great job to just keep consistent and not make any mistakes.
This is going to be a huge dent in Logan's championship, though, with a 5th place finish. When he was, I believe, was it P3? With the strategy he was on. I mean, and it's also proving... Sorry, as well, just to finish that off. The tyres, we're seeing the hards not fall away like we expected them to.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think we'll see, maybe the next few laps we'll see that. That maybe it'll be a bit of a sharper fall off. But I was going to say that the only hope for Logan is that first place is actually going to a new contender at least. It's not going to Thomas. He's not going to get that big 25 point. So that will help stop the bleeding a little bit. But he really does need to get past Alex for his championship.
Yeah, his 2 biggest competitors, though, are ahead of him.
Yeah.
I think at this rate we would see James Simmons very close, if not overtaking Logan in the championship. If things would stay as they were for the end of the race. There's a lot. We've got 5 laps left. Anything can happen.
We've had some spicy racing going on a little bit further down the field with Harrison Davis, Jason Kennedy and Josh Wilmot very, very tight together. Harrison just making a move into the first corner, not quite paying off. But these guys, Harrison on the fresher medium tyres, so should have some sort of advantage. But as we keep mentioning, those are getting quite old, and that advantage is going to fall off a little bit as our commentary box favourite Jordan Venus attaching himself to the back of this grid as well.
We've seen Josh on many occasions be a great rear gunner to Jesse in previous seasons, and it's looking like he's doing it again.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see some elbows out here from Josh. Jesse managing to move away. A quietly strong Mercedes championship, I think. Always coming quite close together, getting some decent points. So they're just holding out. But we'll see if we can see any setup differences on this straight here, as Harrison was tucked right under the gearbox of the Mercedes there, making sure he gets as close as he can. DRS is going to be open. Does look like Mercedes running quite a low downforce setup. It's not going to be enough at the moment, I think. Is going to make him go around the outside and is very, very late on the brakes. Far too late on the brakes. He's going to be sent right off into the distance. Harrison saying thank you very much. Jason going to squeeze through as well. A very easy overtake there for Harrison. And Josh just totally misreading that one.
Yeah, totally misreading. We saw all 4 wheels lock up on that car, which was a true sign of panic on the brake pedal there, which was a shame because we saw an amazing defense before that. Yeah,
I think it's good to see Harrison doing well. I was editing our race recap today and noticed we were quite critical of Harrison's performance over the season.
Matt Quinton retire from this race yet again.
Piers is in the pits. He's gone into the pits and retired, I believe, rather than a crash. It's quite interesting. Not sure what that's about. Luckily, it hasn't caused a safety car at all. As we see, Logan is so close to the back of Alex now. Surely, I mean, this will be the case. I'm seeing the Ferrari team principal saying the hards are OP. Logan is pushing as hard as he can. He got the DRS, but they just got so much more traction out of that corner. Half a second the gap, halfway down the straight. He's going to bring it back, but it's just not long enough. And this is going to be a frustrating drive for Logan, I think, for the last 4 laps of this Grand Prix.
Using no battery either. I don't know if he's got it in the tank. He's got over 30%. I expect him to probably use it at that on that straight. But whether he knows this is the best he's going to do and he doesn't want to fight with the Aston Martin and then almost like a NASCAR strat, right, where you bump draft the car ahead of you and then overtake him on the last moment. We might be seeing a little bit of that right here. Yeah,
absolutely. We're going to see the last 3 laps of the race come down, and unfortunately, I'm seeing these gaps. There. You know, we see the 5 second, 5 10, 4 10, but it doesn't feel like it's going to mean anything because there's just no way that the guys. It seems like the order that they're in now is pretty much set up based, that you just can't get past.
We were talking earlier about it being easy to overtake, but I wonder if that was just drivers out of position. We saw drivers out of position pace-wise, and now we've seen them all kind of resume order of where they should be on the racetrack. It's quite stalemate at the moment. People are finding it hard to get past each other.
Yeah, again, look, we'll see there from Logan. He gets a good run. Nice corner, just trying to get the power down. Doesn't appear to have a terrible getaway. Actually, he's going to be quite a bit closer to the back of Alex this time. 4/10 the distance. I mean, I do feel like Logan might be having a big lunge at one point. Just noticing at the front, it looks like James is caught back onto Thomas, and these guys are now fighting. So the last few laps here could get quite spicy. I wonder if Thomas, his tyres have fallen off. He's made a mistake there because all of a sudden a big move round the outside. Surely not from James. He's going to be given the space from Thomas. Oh, almost touched. Really good driving there to back out. Knew the corner probably wasn't his, or they were going to collide on those old tyres. But wow, that was some really, really tight racing at the front. I wonder if he's only got 2 laps really to keep this going. So let's see if he can hold it off and keep this P2.
Incredible driving. We haven't seen anyone hang it around the outside there. And I just noticed as well, car number 70 trying to overtake car number 69. One place in between their driver numbers and one place currently between where they are on track at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Right, I think this will be crunch time. Let's see the run that James gets out of the final corner here. Oh, not the final corner, out of the corner onto the main DRS straight, and see if he makes that big move on Thomas. Good run.
I did have a little. Sorry to cut in, but I did have a little useless Crofty stats that I wanted to tell you.
Oh, maybe wait just 1 second, because I think James has got such a huge run on here. He's going to get it done miles before the corner again. Is Thomas going to be very, very late on the brakes? I think he is. Oh, so late on the brakes. He's going to force James wide. I think that was all fair, but super late on the brakes from Thomas there. Really heavy defending. Not many laps to go, and he definitely wants this P2.
He's the closest to it. But yeah, what I was going to say is Thomas Hunter is the only driver who's won anti-clockwise circuits on the calendar, I believe.
Where did you get that from?
I was just thinking back to I don't know why my brain went to this, but I was thinking about drivers that have won at which circuits, and then I did think Imola and Jeddah are the only one of the few anti-clockwise circuits that we've got, and they're the only 2 he's won at. So I wonder if can Thomas Hunter only win at anti-clockwise circuits?
It appears that way. I really wish I'd have let you just carry that stat on as we saw that amazing defensive move from Thomas, big lunge from James, and we're just thinking he's only won at anti-clockwise circuits. Says it's all heating up. Maybe try and find another stat if you can, because I think we're going to have the same thing happening here again. James is going to need to make sure that he gets a better run. It looked like a pretty good run in the first time. It's going to need to be even better, and actually that does look pretty good. No, Thomas getting a nice little exit there, so it's going to be really, really tricky for James to get on the back of him. But with these 16-lap old mediums now, that's going to be tricky. Surely they're falling off hard. So you see a big distance gain from James, but I wonder if he just saves some ERS, holds it off for this lap, and then tries to get him on the final one.
Almost no battery left for James, but someone who does have a lot of battery left is Logan, over 40%. Why isn't he using it? Is this the time of him to
What's he doing? Oh, he's deploying it now. Alex is going to go to the inside. Surely a late move here from Logan. Needs to be very, very low on the brakes. Oh, beautiful defensive driving there from Alex. Just parking it in the middle of the corner, blocking that cutback. It's not going to work for the moment. We've got 2 very fierce battles on the grid at the moment. But 1 for P2, 1 for P4. We'll try and stick with them as much as we can. I think it is all going to be down to that main straight. I would not want to be Alex stop going into the last heavy braking zone with Logan behind you, because he is definitely going to go for something here as we ride on board with James. I wonder if it's... I don't think this is the place to overtake, even if he can get the move done, which it does look like he can do. He's going to have so much pace now. He's going to swing around the outside. Thomas, what's he going to do? He's still quite late on the brakes. Going to give him a bit of a squeeze, compromise that corner line. Surely can't make it around the outside. No, he can't. He's going to sweep around now, try and go for a cutback, but he is crucially going to be behind him going into this long DRS straight. So I wonder if maybe that overtake wasn't the best strategic move for James. Let's see, can Thomas hold this one down and make a run on it on those medium tyres? He's already gaining at the start of this straight. So I think while that was a fantastic move from James, and while it did take the position, he's going to give it straight back through strategy. Surely he's going to give it Thomas back a little bit of what he did very, very late on the brakes. He is super, super late on the brakes. It's not going to work though. A beautiful cutback from Thomas. Jakob is going to take his win in his debut performance here in the league, but Thomas and James having a fantastic battle. Thomas coming out on top, James P3, a little bit further back down the grid. Logan unable to do the same thing. He's going to stick with P5. But the penalties for the moment will put him P4. I'm sure that will be a post-race discussion. Jesse coming home P6, Jason P7, Josh P8, and the last of the point scorers on 9th and 10th. But what a fantastic last lap battle there from Thomas and James. Strategy really coming out, and just great racing from everyone involved.
Textbook stuff there from Thomas Hunter. You wouldn't believe that he's new to racing and new to Formula 1, because that was the oldest trick in the book, really, letting the other inside car go wide and then cutting back, gaining the traction, which is so hard on that corner. It's off camber, it's really hard. You want to just straighten up the car as soon as possible, and then it was a drag race to the line, and maybe those mediums did it, but he had an exceptional run there. I think maybe Logan, biding his time behind Alex, knew he had the penalty, knew he wasn't going to be on the pace of Thomas and James, just kind of sat, didn't need to risk anything, knew he was going to bring home a P4. But great racing. We had such a quiet start, but such a loud end.
Yeah, I think that was just the case of all of those strategies coming into fruition in the last part of the race. You love to see it, because it really was a case of those mediums gave him the pace advantage to get up to that position, but then they fell off quite hard, and the hards were sitting in their element, and also the strategy differences between the setup differences between some of the teams there making a big difference. But absolutely fantastic race, and we must say, I knew we probably wouldn't talk about him very much, but great stuff from our race winner Jakob, who's just shown up, qualified by 8/10 faster than everyone else, and then led every lap, I believe, of the race.
Yeah, he did get past Logan before the end of the first lap. So
that is a grand slam, pretty much as you can get one in our league. So that will be one to watch for the championship. He is coming in a little bit later, so he has a little bit of a mountain to climb, but that might be good. That might be a good thing. I understand that we had some VSC issues, some crashes at the back and stuff like that. We'll have a look in all that and try and explain what happened next week. But overall, love to see Tadpole and James on the podium with our new driver Jakob, and then P4 for Logan, P5 for Alex, Moon, Sniper, Josh Wilmot, Venus and Jake Williams rounding out the top 10. Another double points finish for Alpine, which you love to see. But I think for me, driver of the day there, it's got to be Thomas Hunter. That was fantastic driving from him. Great strategy calls, and just overall fantastic. Yeah, just great racing.
From somewhere nowhere on the grid as well, we had the start. Like you said, he was losing time. You speculated he might have damage. I don't think he did. But yeah, great to bring it back there. We didn't think he had the pace, but what a commanding victory from debut as well from Jakob.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite scary. There does appear to be quite a difference there in just raw speed and raw pace. It does appear that I mean, you know, that's not a small win. And I can't imagine he was pushing super hard for the whole of that race. So might need to get some training on the go, everyone else, because looks like we've got a new contender and he looks rapid.
Not just that as well, he was, you know, with the fastest lap at the end, he had pace to spare almost. It was incredible to watch. Also, we kind of saw, weirdly, this gap between the interval between first and second. One time I looked at it was 3 seconds, and next time I looked it was like 7 or 8. So whether that battle contributed towards that such a commanding victory, but yeah, we're gonna have to see.
I mean, we did. It is worth saying, you know, when Logan was at the start of that race, he was chasing him down for a good period of time, and I know he had a tyre advantage, but you know, he was keeping him honest for a good period of time. And then also a bit later on in the race, I can't remember, was it Tadpole? Was James was, you know, matching his pace for sure. And then, as you say, the battles get involved and they kind of slow down. So, well, we'll have to see if he can keep it up next week. If he can keep that pace going, I'm sure the other guys are going to be very excited to have someone joining the league who's really good, right? That's the reaction that everyone is going to have. Everyone is going to be super excited to have another quick time joining. No one's going to be annoyed at that. But hey, we love the drama. We love the racing. We love
Talking about drama, shall we bring in the people who are fresh from the drama?
Of course.
P3. James Simmons is being brought in now.
James, how is it going? That was a fierce race at the end there between you and Thomas. Did you think at all when you overtook him on that straight that he was going to then have the DRS on the next one? Did that come into your head, or was it just like, I got to get past him now?
I was just thinking that because every single lap before, I felt like the dirty air really had an impact, so I get a horrible exit each time. But that might just been my horrible exit. So I thought maybe he wouldn't get as such good an exit as he did. But
yeah, I mean, it was really. I know what you mean. I was kind of wondering if you were just gonna just disappear through there or without the dirty air. But were the hards were they okay at that time of the race? What kind of percents were you on and stuff?
I have no idea. It's pretty much just all focus on racing Thomas. But
right.
Yeah. I didn't feel like I liked them. They never really got into the groove. My medium lap was the fastest lap that I did. So I guess they just never came in.
Well, fair enough. Well, again, another podium. I'm sure we'll chat to you next week. You always seem to be here. Great racing, fantastic battling at the end there as well. It was absolutely wicked to see. So yeah, and I guess we'll bring in the other part of that fearsome duo. Thomas, lovely P2, fantastic racing at the end there. Was that intentional when you let him through, or when he overtook you?
Yeah, I knew I had the DRS, so I was gonna. Again, I had more speed, right? So I was like going on the outside, and I was like, he's gonna have to make the lunge because he wants to block this off. So I was like, I'll just brake. I realized halfway through the braking zone that I can just brake way earlier and then get a better exit, and that's exactly what happened. I was pretty pleased.
But it wasn't just that as well. Yeah, it wasn't just that as well. You then, at the end, did the switch back into the final section of the corners to come through. I think that's got to be your overtake of the season so far.
Yes, absolutely. It probably will be of the whole season. Yeah, it was amazing.
No, absolutely wicked stuff. And then we'll bring him in now. But how are you feeling about our new contender? Jakob, welcome to the post-race interview. Thank you so much for jumping in and showing everyone how it's done. That was a pretty dominant performance there. Did you have any moments in that race where you thought it might not be secure?
Thank you, first of all. And to be fair, yeah, the quali was good, so I did like the best lap I think I could have produced today. But in the race, when the full safety car went out, I was like, okay, I might be jumped on the start. It might not go my way. So that was the moment there. But then when I think the McLaren of Higgle and the Tadpole started to just racing each other, they just lost the DRS to me. And then I was just like, yeah, let's just go for a Sunday drive. Don't push it until the last lap.
Yeah, because it did seem like you obviously had a lot of pace, but it did seem like there were some moments there where it was like, oh, okay, maybe if it's just a long race, then mistakes could come into it because the pace didn't seem super different. Just quickly, turn one with the Ferrari, how was that from you? Because from our point of view, Logan was so far away and then was just suddenly on you. So how was getting through your first corner on BBB?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he did a Ferrari thing, so like I can't be like disappointed or mad at that because I knew like, and when I saw the Ferrari just diving, I was like, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Thankfully, he went into my wheel, not into my front wing, so I didn't actually get any damage from that, so I won't be reporting it. It's like, it's a fair game unless you give me damage to be fair.
Well, yeah, I wasn't sure if he did quite collide. It's quite hard to see from our point of view, but yeah, it does look like that was a big incident. So as Liam said, welcome to the league. Lovely introduction to the to the lead. But apart from that, yeah, fantastic racing, amazing pace.
I also have one quick question, but
Yes.
whilst we've still got second place here as well, both of your points of view really, we're 5 rounds into the championship now. Thomas, how are you feeling about your championship lead with that
No,
race?
it's getting put in the bin in the next 5 races if Jakob's pace stays up. I'm
What do
really
you-
interested to see what will happen.
I was about to say, what do you think you can do to stop that?
If it goes the way it's going at the moment, I don't think there is anything I can do. And if that's the way it is, then that's fine. But I'll obviously do everything I can to stop it.
And Jakob, question for you, but a little bit on the reverse. How do you feel over the next 5 races? How do you think they're going to go?
I don't know yet, to be fair. If I'm not mistaken, we have 23 rounds over the course of the season or something like that. It's a long one, everything can happen. Like, I will have some bad races, I will have some better races. You never know, it's a long season, it's not a sprint. It's just gonna be fun, and I hope that we can just keep it up.
Cool.
Very
Well,
much. Very simple. I'll ask you
very
again in
Yeah.
5 races time.
let's hope Jordan doesn't suddenly find loads of pace and do that, because that'd be a very, very different answer, I think. Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for that. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Liam, for hosting this with me. And it's been that was a great one. I think it was really nice to see that come alive at the end there. Where are we next week, Liam?
We're in Spain next week.
Spain.
And Catalonia. I might not be here. I might be, depending. We might
Spicy,
have.
who knows? Bit of
we might
mystery.
have- Well, I've Jay Griff back in the commentary box again with yourself. But yeah, what will be a constant is drama.
Yeah, and just quickly while we're here, we have we're expanding the streams, we're expanding what we're doing at BBB, so we will be having another community night next week. I don't know if we've got anything secured yet, but the last one we did was so much fun. We're just messing around with open lobbies and stuff like that. I believe there's talks of Wreckfest, where we can all jump in and have a bit more of a chilled race rather than the Sweatfest that just unfolded. But follow the Discord, join the Discord for more info on that. Have you got anything else to say, Liam?
No, only yes. Stay tuned. These events that we put on are available to everyone as well. So don't feel that they're exclusive to our drivers. It's on a first come first served basis on anyone that's part of the community. We've tried to advertise our community through Discord, and hopefully you've got an invite to that. If not, try and get one from us in the chat, and we'll provide it with you. But yeah, apart from that, thank you for joining us tonight. We're glad you could be with us to watch the show. The show will go on to Spain next week, and yeah, see you then.
See you then. Oh, mic just fell off at the end.